God says, "Your marriage is closer than you think." This is not just a phrase meant to comfort your heart. It is a promise that carries a divine timing, a timing that often comes when you least expect it. Many times you may feel as though you have waited too long, prayed too many prayers, or cried too many nights asking for your partner, your soulmate, the one who is meant to walk with you through the rest of your life. But what you cannot always see is that there are threads being woven together behind the scenes. While you may only see delay, heaven sees preparation. What looks like silence is not absence, and what feels like distance is not denial. The truth is that your marriage is approaching faster than you know, and when it comes, it will feel like it happened instantly, yet perfectly, as if it had always been written for you. Before we go any further, I encourage you to stay with me until the very end of this message. Let this be more than just words you hear for a moment. Let it sink into your spirit. And if you feel connected to what is being said, I invite you to write your warmest wishes in the comments below, along with the number 77. That number is a symbol of alignment and divine energy, a way to release your intention into the universe. Your written words have the power to call blessings forward, to declare that your heart is open, ready, and expectant. By doing this, you are not just listening, you are actively participating in the energy of what is unfolding. Now, when we speak of marriage being closer than you think, many wonder why the journey feels so long. Why must there be so much waiting, so much testing, so many moments of disappointment before the joy finally arrives? The truth is that marriage is not just about companionship. It is about alignment. It is about two lives being prepared so that when they finally come together, the union is not only beautiful but also unshakable. Often, if you had met the right person too soon, you or they may not have been ready. The timing of your marriage is not simply about when you desire it. It is about when both hearts, both spirits, and both paths are matured enough to sustain it. That is why it feels delayed, but the reality is that it is on schedule. Just not your schedule, but God's. Marriage, in its truest form, is not just about romance or the sweetness of having someone to share your days with. It is about destiny. It is about two purposes merging to create something greater than what either could accomplish alone. This is why, even if you feel lonely right now, even if you feel like time is slipping away, you must trust that what is being prepared for you is worth every moment of waiting. The person meant for you is not simply someone who will love you, but someone who will strengthen you, someone who will help you rise higher, someone who will see the depths of who you are and not turn away. When this person comes, you will understand why the others did not last, why the heartbreaks had to happen, and why the silence was necessary. Every unanswered question will make sense when the right answer finally stands before you. As you walk through this season of waiting, do not mistake it for emptiness. The waiting is shaping you. The waiting is teaching you patience, resilience, and trust. The waiting is teaching you how to love yourself, how to stand strong in your own identity, and how to recognize what true love really looks like. Many people rush into relationships simply to fill a void, but you are being prepared for something deeper, something lasting. That is why the weight feels heavy, because what is being prepared for you carries weight. It carries purpose. It carries destiny. And when you hold it in your hands, you will realize that it was worth carrying the loneliness a little longer. There is also something powerful about the way love unfolds when it is divinely timed. It often comes quietly, in the ordinary moments of life, and then suddenly everything shifts. You may cross paths with someone unexpectedly, or you may reconnect with someone from your past, or you may find that a new door opens in the most unlikely place. What seems random is never random. There are no coincidences in a divinely written love story. Every step, every connection, every delay is leading you closer to the one who has been written into your journey all along. And while you cannot see the whole picture yet, you can trust that each day you are moving closer to the moment when it all comes together. The key is to remain open, not just open to love, but open to growth. Sometimes, the person meant for you is already nearby, but your heart is not yet soft enough to see them. Other times, they are being shaped in a place you cannot see, and your job is simply to prepare yourself so that when the connection happens, you are ready. That is why self-love, healing, and spiritual growth are so important. When you take this time to refine yourself, you are not wasting time. You are investing it. You are preparing to meet your partner as the best version of yourself, and in turn, drawing them closer to you because like attracts like. Two prepared hearts will always find their way to each other faster than two broken hearts searching in desperation. And so, when God says that your marriage is closer than you think, it means you do not need to strive, chase, or beg for it to happen. You do not need to manipulate circumstances or force connections. You only need to remain faithful, to trust, and to prepare. The love that is coming to you is already yours. It is not being withheld. It is being perfected. And when it arrives, it will feel natural, peaceful, and undeniable. You will not have to question whether this is the one. The peace in your spirit will answer before your mind ever can. That is the beauty of divine timing. It removes the confusion and replaces it with clarity. When you begin to sense that your marriage is near, there is often a shift inside you before anything changes on the outside. Your spirit becomes restless, not in a painful way, but in a way that makes you aware something is about to unfold. You may feel an unusual calm about the future, or you may notice old desires fading and new expectations rising. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. It is the subtle sign that your heart is being positioned for a meeting that has already been planned. Many ignore these signals, brushing them off as imagination, but those who pay attention recognize them as the whispers of destiny. It is like the quiet before a great symphony begins, the pause that tells you something magnificent is about to start. The nearness of marriage is often hidden in the everyday. It is not always accompanied by dramatic signs or overwhelming feelings. Sometimes it is simply the way life begins to shift in your favor. Opportunities open, doors close, friendships change, and you find yourself being moved into new environments. What feels like random redirection is actually the pathway being cleared. When you find yourself suddenly released from relationships that no longer serve you, when you feel drawn to places or opportunities you had not considered before, understand this: the ground is being prepared. The season of your marriage does not arrive without movement in other areas of your life. These small shifts are part of the divine orchestration, bringing you and your partner closer. Another way you can sense the nearness of marriage is through the healing of your past wounds. For a long time, pain may have held you back. Old heartbreaks may have whispered that love is too risky, and disappointments may have convinced you that waiting is in vain. But as the right time draws near, you begin to feel lighter. The weight of old memories starts to fall away. You find yourself forgiving more easily, loving yourself more deeply, and looking forward to the future instead of replaying the past. This is because your heart is being prepared to give and receive love freely. A heavy heart cannot carry the weight of a divine union. That is why you will notice yourself slowly being restored, made whole again. That is a signal. Your marriage is closer than you think. Some people wonder why God allows them to encounter so many wrong people before the right one finally arrives. But even those encounters are not wasted. Each person you meet, each lesson you learn, each ending you endure, All of these experiences refine you. They show you what you want, and more importantly, what you do not want. They sharpen your discernment, so that when the right one comes, you will not overlook them. Without those lessons, you may have accepted less than what you deserve, mistaking it for love. But because of what you have walked through, you will know how to recognize real love when it arrives. Your past, no matter how painful, was not a detour. It was a teacher, preparing you for the partner who is truly meant to walk with you. And then there is the question of timing. So often, we believe we are ready long before we truly are. We imagine that marriage will fix our loneliness, heal our wounds, or complete our lives. But marriage is not meant to be a cure. It is meant to be a continuation. It is not designed to make you whole. It is designed to bring two whole people together to build something greater. That is why the timing is so critical. Sometimes you are ready in your heart, but your partner is still in their season of preparation. Other times, they are ready, but you are still healing. And so, the timing must align. When it does, you will both arrive at the same place at the same time, with the same readiness to walk forward together. That is when the union becomes unstoppable. There is also a divine mystery in the way love arrives when you least expect it. You may be going about your normal life, focused on your work, your goals, your family, and suddenly someone steps into your path. And in that moment, everything shifts. The conversations feel easy, the connection feels natural, and your spirit recognizes something your mind has not yet processed. This is different. This is not like the others. This is what you have been waiting for. That recognition is not imagined. It is the resonance of two souls that have been destined to meet. It feels both new and familiar at the same time, as though you are meeting someone for the first time, yet somehow recognizing them from long ago. This is what it feels like when marriage is close. It feels undeniable. In the days leading up to this connection, you may even feel tested. The closer you come to your breakthrough, the more distractions may arise. Old relationships may try to resurface, tempting you to settle for less than what you deserve. Doubts may try to creep in, whispering that nothing is really changing. But these are not signs of failure. They are signs that the shift is near. Just as the night feels darkest before the dawn, so too does the journey feel most difficult just before the blessing arrives. Hold steady. Refuse to return to what no longer fits. Trust that the tension you feel is only proof that the moment is almost here. Your faith in these moments matters more than ever. By choosing to hold on, you are declaring that you are ready for what is next. Marriage is closer than you think, not only in time, but also in spirit. Even before you meet the person, your souls are drawing nearer. Just as you prepare, they too are preparing. Just as you long for connection, they too feel the pull of destiny. The bond exists before the meeting, and that is why when the connection happens, it feels instant. It is not instant. It has been unfolding for years. But the moment it finally comes into view, it will feel as though it all happened in one heartbeat. This is how divine timing works. Slowly in the unseen, suddenly in the seen. And when that moment arrives, you will not have to chase it, question it, or fear losing it. It will be yours, sealed by timing and strengthened by destiny. One of the most remarkable things about the approach of marriage is how it transforms the way you see your own life. When you begin to feel that someone is coming, you naturally start to think about what you are offering. Instead of focusing on what you are missing, you become aware of how you are preparing. You start asking yourself, what kind of partner am I becoming? Am I ready to give love, not just receive it? Am I willing to compromise, to forgive, to grow with someone else? These reflections are not random. They are the stirring of your heart as it anticipates the union ahead. They are proof that love is near, because love begins reshaping you even before it physically arrives. In this stage, patience becomes one of your greatest allies. Patience is not simply about waiting for the right person. It is about how you wait. Do you wait in frustration, doubting that anything will change? Or do you wait in peace, trusting that every day is bringing you closer? Impatience often clouds the vision. It makes you believe nothing is moving when in truth everything is aligning. Patience, however, clears the fog. It allows you to see beyond the present moment into the bigger picture. When you embrace patience, you no longer feel like time is wasted. Instead, you recognize it as a sacred investment, a quiet preparation for the arrival of what you have been promised. As your marriage draws closer, you may notice a change in the way you carry yourself. Confidence begins to replace insecurity. Hope begins to outshine despair. You find yourself smiling for no reason, feeling lighter without knowing exactly why. This is not an accident. It is a signal. Your spirit already knows what your mind is still catching up to, that love is approaching. The body and mind follow the whispers of the soul, and so you walk differently, speak differently, even dream differently. It is as though you are walking towards someone you cannot yet see but already feel. This shift is often subtle, but once you recognize it, you cannot ignore it. It is like an inner countdown to the moment when two lives finally collide. It is also common in this season to feel waves of longing more intensely. You may find yourself imagining what it will be like to share your mornings with someone, to have someone who listens to your thoughts, someone who celebrates your victories and comforts your struggles. This longing is not weakness, it is awakening. It is your heart's way of telling you that it is ready. And while these desires may sometimes feel overwhelming, they are also a form of calling. They are the vibrations of your soul reaching out to the one who has been written for you. That is why your marriage feels so near, because in truth, it is not just near in time, it is near in spirit. But along with longing comes the challenge of trust. There will always be voices, whether from others or from within yourself, that say it will never happen, that time has passed, that your dreams are unrealistic. These voices try to plant seeds of doubt, because doubt delays destiny. When you believe nothing is coming, you lower your energy, you close your heart, and you turn away from what is being sent to you. That is why trust is so important. Trust keeps your heart open. Trust allows you to continue walking forward even when your eyes cannot yet see the evidence. Trust reminds you that if the desire was placed in you, it was placed for a reason, and that reason will be fulfilled in its time. And then, there is the beauty of surrender. Many people hold on to the idea of marriage with a tight grip, fearing that if they let go, it will slip away. But in truth, surrender does not mean losing. It means allowing. When you surrender, you are saying, I believe enough to stop controlling. I trust enough to stop forcing. I know enough to rest in the timing. This surrender does not push your blessing away. It pulls it closer. Because when your heart is open and your hands are free, you are ready to receive. Control builds walls, but surrender opens doors. And the nearness of your marriage will be revealed most clearly when you finally let go of your need to make it happen and simply allow it to unfold. Your partner is not far from you. Even now, they are walking their own journey, perhaps unaware of how close they are to meeting you. They are learning, growing, being refined just as you are. Somewhere, they may also be asking questions, feeling restless, sensing that something in their life is about to change. That change is you. You are the answer to their prayers, just as they are the answer to yours. And when you both arrive at the moment of meeting, the weight of waiting will vanish, replaced by the certainty that this was always meant to be. You will look back and realize that the distance was only temporary, the silence only preparation, and the waiting only a bridge to something greater. When marriage is close, you will often notice how life begins to simplify itself. Things that once consumed your energy no longer feel as heavy. Relationships that drained you begin to fade, and clarity replaces confusion. This happens because your heart is making room. To welcome what is meant for you, you cannot carry everything that once defined you. Old attachments, lingering fears, and unhealthy patterns begin to fall away. At first, this can feel unsettling. You may wonder why certain friendships end, why opportunities shift, why old habits no longer satisfy. But in truth, it is the clearing of space. Just as a home must be cleaned before a celebration, your life must be prepared for the one who is coming to share it. In this process, you may also discover new parts of yourself. You may feel drawn to hobbies, skills, or passions you never pursued before. You may find yourself embracing growth with a curiosity that surprises you. This is more than self-discovery. It is preparation. The person who is meant for you will not only love who you are today, but also who you are becoming. And so, you are being shaped, refined, and awakened into new depths of yourself. When your partner meets you, they will not meet an incomplete version of you. They will meet a whole, expanding, living soul who is ready to share life in fullness. This growth is not accidental. It is a direct reflection of how near your union truly is. Another sign of nearness is peace. Even if circumstances around you are not perfect, even if you still face challenges, you begin to feel a calm in your heart. You stop comparing your journey to others. You no longer feel the urge to chase or to prove. Instead, you rest in the knowing that what is meant for you cannot be taken by anyone else. This peace is not laziness. It is confidence. It is the quiet assurance that love is not a competition, that timing cannot be stolen, that destiny does not expire. When you feel this peace, it is because your heart is aligning with what is already yours. And when you walk in that peace, you naturally attract the partner who carries the same energy of calm certainty. It is also in this stage that you begin to understand love differently. You realize that love is not about perfection, but about presence. You stop imagining a flawless person who never makes mistakes, and instead begin to desire someone who is steady, kind, and willing to grow. You recognize that marriage is not about avoiding challenges but about facing them together. This shift in perspective is crucial because it shows that you are no longer chasing fantasy. You are ready for reality. And real love, when it arrives, will not sweep you away into illusion. It will ground you, it will steady you, it will remind you that love is not about constant fireworks, but about the warmth of a steady flame that does not go out. As marriage draws closer, there is also a new strength in your spirit. Where once you may have felt fear about the future, you now begin to feel anticipation. Where once you worried that love would never arrive, you now begin to feel gratitude for what is unfolding. This strength is not based on what you see with your eyes, but on what you feel in your soul. You begin to know, deep down, that love is already on its way. This inner strength helps you resist the temptation to settle, to go back to what you've outgrown, or to compromise your values. Instead, you hold steady, knowing that the wait is almost over and the reward is closer than ever. There is also a beauty in how your vision for the future sharpens. You may begin to imagine not just being with someone, but building with them. You may think about what kind of home you want, what values you will share, what dreams you will pursue together. This is not daydreaming, It is alignment. Your heart is preparing to merge its path with another, and so your vision naturally begins to expand. You are no longer living only for yourself. Without even realizing it, you are creating space in your dreams for someone else. This is one of the clearest signs that your marriage is near. You are not only ready to love, but also ready to build a life with love as its foundation. The nearness of marriage is also revealed in the way you begin to handle challenges. Instead of breaking you, challenges refine you. Instead of discouraging you, they strengthen you. You begin to realize that every trial has been preparing you to stand strong, to communicate, to forgive, to endure. These qualities are not just for your own growth, they are for your union. Because a marriage that is strong does not come from avoiding storms, but from learning how to stand together through them. And so, as you grow in resilience, you are also growing into the person who will one day be a steady partner. The one who comes into your life will not be looking for perfection, but for strength. And you are being shaped into exactly that. As you draw closer to the season of marriage, you may notice how clarity begins to replace confusion in the way you view relationships. In the past, you may have struggled to understand why certain connections began so beautifully but ended so painfully. You may have questioned why people you thought were permanent suddenly faded, or why relationships you invested in turned out to be temporary. But in this stage, the answers begin to reveal themselves. You see that not everyone was meant to stay, and not every connection was meant to last forever. Some people entered your life only to teach you something, to shape you, or to move you closer to who you are becoming. And while their exit may have hurt, their purpose was never wasted. You begin to see that the pattern was not loss, but preparation. With this new clarity, you begin to release resentment. The bitterness that once lingered in your heart softens, and you find yourself able to look back with gratitude instead of regret. You understand now that those endings were making room for a greater beginning. By letting go of what could not last, you are finally opening your hands to receive what is meant to last. This release is powerful because as long as you hold on to the pain of the past, your heart cannot fully welcome the love of the future. But as you let go, you create space, not only for another person, but for joy, trust, and peace to enter. And it is in this space that your marriage will be planted, rooted not in bitterness, but in hope. Another sign that your marriage is near is the way your priorities shift. You begin to think less about surface-level attraction and more about deeper qualities. Looks, status, or fleeting excitement lose their hold on you. Instead, you long for kindness, loyalty, honesty, and growth. This is not because you are lowering your standards, but because your standards are evolving. You realize that what sustains a marriage is not glamour, but character. And as your heart matures, you become more capable of recognizing the difference between temporary passion and lasting partnership. This maturity is part of your preparation, and it ensures that when the right person appears, you will recognize them not by what dazzles your eyes, but by what steadies your soul. In this season, you may also notice how much more intentional you become with your time. The distractions that once consumed your days lose their appeal. Instead, you focus on building habits, dreams, and routines that align with the life you want to create. You begin to think about how your daily choices affect not only yourself, but also the future family you will one day nurture. This intentionality is not a burden, it is a joy. It is the awareness that your actions today are laying the foundation for the love you are about to receive. Every step, no matter how small, becomes part of preparing for the one who is coming to walk beside you. And as your focus sharpens, so too does your sense of value. You no longer entertain relationships that drain your energy or disrespect your worth. You no longer settle for half-hearted commitment or vague promises. Instead, you stand firm in the knowledge of who you are and what you deserve. This confidence is magnetic, and it will draw the right person to you. The person meant for you will not be intimidated by your strength. They will honor it. They will not diminish your light. They will add to it. And when they arrive, you will not have to shrink yourself to be loved. You will be celebrated for the fullness of who you are. Perhaps the most beautiful part of this nearness is the quiet excitement it brings. Deep inside, you know that something is shifting. You may not know the exact day or moment, but you can feel it. The air feels different, your dreams feel closer, and hope feels stronger. This quiet excitement carries you forward, giving you the strength to wait without despair, to trust without fear, and to prepare without hesitation. And when the moment finally comes, this joy will overflow. You will realize that all along, your heart was sensing what your eyes could not yet see. That love was on its way, nearer than you ever imagined. When your marriage is drawing near, it often feels like life itself begins to whisper encouragement. You may notice signs that seem small to others but feel deeply meaningful to you, moments that reassure you that you are on the right path. Perhaps you overhear conversations about love at unexpected times, or you encounter couples who remind you of what you are longing for, or you feel a sudden sense of comfort that eases your doubts. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. They remind you that what you desire is not far away, that your prayers are not unanswered, and that the fulfillment of your longing is unfolding in the unseen. In these moments, gratitude becomes a powerful force. Gratitude has a way of shifting your perspective from what you lack to what you already hold. And when you focus on gratitude, you raise your energy, aligning yourself with the very blessings you are waiting for. The more grateful you become for your journey, the lessons, the growth, even the delays, the more your spirit resonates with abundance. This alignment is magnetic. It draws good things to you, including the love you seek. Gratitude turns waiting into preparing, and it transforms loneliness into expectation. By choosing gratitude, you position yourself to receive love with joy instead of desperation. Another important realization in this stage is that your story is unique. It cannot be compared to anyone else's. The timing of your marriage is not meant to match the timeline of friends, family, or society. Many people burden themselves with unnecessary pressure by comparing their journey to others. They wonder why someone else found love sooner, or why their own story seems delayed. But comparison steals joy and blinds you to the truth. Your path is yours alone. And in your path, nothing is late, nothing is missing, and nothing has been overlooked. What is meant for you cannot pass you by. When you embrace this truth, peace returns. You stop measuring yourself against others and begin to rest in the knowledge that your marriage is arriving right on time for you. This awareness also reshapes the way you view love itself. Instead of searching anxiously, you begin to trust that love will appear naturally. Instead of feeling pressured to force connections, you allow relationships to unfold with ease. You stop chasing because you know you are not behind. You stop clinging because you know what is real will stay. This shift is liberating. It frees your heart from fear and opens it to possibility. Love that is meant for you will not require you to beg or convince. It will meet you where you are, and it will grow effortlessly, like a seed planted in the right soil. When you understand this, the journey becomes lighter, and your anticipation becomes hopeful instead of heavy. As your heart settles into this peace, you begin to notice how much stronger your intuition becomes. You can sense which connections are genuine and which are distractions. You know when to say yes and when to walk away. You trust yourself more deeply, and that trust protects you from wasting energy on what is not for you. This intuition is part of your preparation. It ensures that when your marriage approaches, you will recognize it quickly and not miss the opportunity. You will know in your spirit before your mind fully understands, and that knowing will guide you into the love that has been waiting for you. And then comes the quiet realization. You are ready. Not desperate, not impatient, not fearful, but ready. Ready to give love, ready to receive love, ready to walk beside someone in trust and joy. This readiness does not mean everything in your life is perfect. It means your heart is open. It means you are willing to grow with someone instead of waiting for perfection to arrive. It means you have let go of illusions and embraced the beauty of real partnership. This readiness is the clearest sign of all, because when you are ready, love cannot stay far. It will find you, it will approach you, and it will join with you in a way that feels both natural and divine. Your marriage is not only near, it is inevitable. As the season of your marriage draws even closer, you may notice that your perspective on waiting itself changes. What once felt like delay now feels like design. Instead of viewing the journey as wasted time, you begin to see it as sacred time. Every day has carried purpose, every lesson has added wisdom, and every challenge has carved resilience into your heart. You start to realize that you were never waiting aimlessly. You are being prepared, and that preparation has given you something priceless, the strength to sustain the love that is coming. Because marriage is not simply about finding someone, it is about building something. And what is built must be able to endure. In this season, love begins to take on a deeper meaning. You understand that real love is not about grand gestures or fleeting passion, but about consistency. It is about showing up every day, even in the ordinary moments, and choosing to remain. It is about commitment, patience, and faithfulness. When you see love this way, you no longer chase shallow connections or entertain temporary promises. Instead, you hold your heart steady, knowing that the love meant for you will reflect these qualities. And when you encounter it, you will recognize it, not because it dazzles you, but because it grounds you. It will feel safe, steady, and unshakable. Another sign that your marriage is near is the way you begin to envision not just love, but partnership. You start to think about how two lives can merge to create something bigger than either could alone. You imagine not only joy and comfort, but also purpose and growth. This vision is powerful because it prepares you to welcome someone not as an escape from loneliness, but as a partner in destiny. Together, you will not just share days, you will build a legacy. This shift in your perspective means your heart is ready, your mind is mature, and your spirit is aligned. It is further confirmation that the arrival of your marriage is not far away. You may also notice that your capacity for forgiveness grows. The closer you are to love, the more you realize that forgiveness will be necessary, not because your partner will be perfect, but because no human ever is. Forgiveness does not mean accepting mistreatment. It means learning to release anger quickly, so that love is not poisoned by resentment. This growth in your spirit shows that you are ready for a real, lasting union. The love that is coming will require patience, understanding, and grace, and you are already learning how to cultivate those qualities. Each act of forgiveness, even in your current relationships with family, friends, or yourself, is practice for the deeper love you will share with your partner. There is also a sense of completion that begins to fill your life. You may look back and realize that everything has come full circle. The heartbreaks, the waiting, the lessons, the moments you thought you could not endure, all of it has led you here. And now, you feel a quiet wholeness, as though you are standing at the threshold of something new. This sense of completion is not about ending, it is about beginning. It tells you that one chapter is closing so another can open. And the chapter ahead is not about loneliness or searching, it is about union, partnership, and love that lasts. As you embrace this final stage of waiting, hold on to the truth that what is meant for you is already written. You cannot miss it, and you do not have to chase it. You only have to remain open, steady, and ready. The love you have prayed for, longed for, and prepared for is closer than you think. And when it arrives, it will not feel rushed or forced. It will feel natural, as though it was always meant to be. And you will look back and see that every step, every tear, every moment of waiting was worth it. Because what is coming is not just marriage, it is destiny, and it is nearer than you ever imagined. When the moment of your marriage finally arrives, it will not feel like the sudden beginning of something foreign. It will feel like the unfolding of something you have always known. It will feel as though the missing piece has finally returned, as if the chapters of your story that were once scattered now make perfect sense when read together. This is the beauty of divine timing. It turns waiting into fulfillment, longing into joy, and uncertainty into clarity. You will look back on the years you thought were wasted and realize they were not wasted at all. They were invested, shaping you into someone who could recognize and hold the love that is now standing in front of you. Your heart will understand why the delays were necessary. The people who left, the prayers that seemed unanswered, the seasons of silence, they all had purpose. They protected you from settling for less. They taught you what love is and what it is not. And they prepared you to cherish the blessing when it finally came. Without those experiences, you may not have been ready to receive the person who was meant for you, but now you will be ready, not desperate, not fearful, not incomplete, but whole. And from that wholeness, you will step into a love that is steady, lasting, and real. The beauty of this love is not only what it brings into your life, but what it awakens in you. You will find yourself becoming more patient, more generous, more joyful than you ever imagined. Love will not erase who you are. It will amplify the best parts of you. It will give you the strength to walk through challenges without fear, and the courage to dream bigger than before. This marriage will not be a cage. It will be a launching place. Together, you and your partner will build a life that reflects not only your love for each other, but also your love for the life you are creating. And the greatest joy of all will be the peace that comes with knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. No more wondering, no more questioning, no more feeling like time is slipping away. You will stand in the present moment and feel the weight of destiny fulfilled. You will know that every tear watered the ground for this union, that every prayer planted seeds for this love, and that every season of waiting was the soil from which this marriage has grown. And as you look into the eyes of the one who was meant for you, you will see not just a partner, but a reflection of every hope, every longing, every dream that has now taken shape. So take heart. Do not despair in the waiting. Do not give in to the voices that say it will never happen. Your story is not over. It is only just beginning. Your marriage is not far off. It is near, closer than you think. And when it comes, it will be more beautiful, more fulfilling, and more meaningful than you could have ever imagined. The delays were not denials. The waiting was not empty. Every step has been leading you here. And now, you are standing at the edge of something extraordinary. Love is approaching. Marriage is drawing near. And soon, what you have longed for will no longer be a dream. It will be your reality.